people I thought of for this, because I was like, I have so many conversations about the process of being an artist, the process of being a business person, an entrepreneur, the ups and downs of all of it. I was like, I need to talk to Nia. I need to put this conversation out there because some people can benefit from it. You do so much in the community. You do. You own a business, Art Music People, which we'll link and put everything there. You do hair. You are no, not do hair. You are a hairstylist. Is that it?
That part.
Yeah.
Because I'm a licensed cosmetologist. You know.
Get on that point.
18 months of training for it.
There we go. And event organizer. What else am I missing?
Artists.
Art. Folk the artists. We're gonna have to talk about that as well.
Weird.
So how did you get to Art Music People? How did you get to AMP?
So how did we get to AMP? All right, AMP started in 2013. It was just an idea that kind of blossomed. And I know a lot of people say that, but every action starts with an idea, right? So basically, I had just transferred schools. I was going to SUNY Potsdam. Transferred after my sophomore year because I was like, let me go home and save money.
What school did you say?
SUNY Potsdam.
Okay, you said it so fast. He nodded, and I was like,
there's a lot of SUNY
schools. I was like, I'm just gonna let them have that because I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I mean, have you heard of it prior to me saying? Okay, because a lot of people would just be like, where?
I'm from here, you know. I've seen all the options, you know.
In the book, in the little book we got, and all that.
Yep. All of those.
So basically, it's this school all the way upstate. Not really known for much. Sorry, y'all. I mean, they have like a good education program, but I was kind of just there to get away because all the schools that I wanted to go to, I didn't get into. So that was the only school that was away from New York City. So I decided to go there for a year and a half. But once I realized like, okay, they don't really have what I'm looking for in a degree and all this other stuff, I decided to just come back home. 2013, transferred to Baruch. And that's where that spring semester, I was like, yo, like, I'm an artist. I do music. I've been doing music since I was young. I feel like the scene at that time especially just felt very selective and that there wasn't truly a haven or a place for artists, particularly artists of color, to express themselves fully without feeling like it was about like clout or you know what I mean.
I was gonna say, so talk
there
about
was
it.
a lot of places.
What did you see? Because I was out here. Yeah, it was different. It was different for artists. Yeah,
it was different. I feel like there's much more platforms now for artists, particularly the artists of color. But at that time, I didn't think that there were many. So I was like, why don't I just start with one event and just kind of make it my own thing? And the actual name of the event was called Art Music People. Okay. So before I named the organization that was the name of the first event. And that happened in 2013. 8 people showed up.
Yes.
Shout out to y'all because y'all know who y'all are if you're gonna watch this. But no, yeah. So it was like 8 of my friends came. I would say in total maybe 10 or 11 throughout the course of the night. And you know, I was doing it at the Vulcan Hall, that space that you know I used to do events at, and literally like it was a bust. Like it was a great show. But like one of the performers who shall not be named stayed in the bathroom the whole night because I guess she didn't have the proper audience that she was looking for.
That's whack.
Yeah, it was really whack. But I'm like, you know, she was young, I was young. You live and you learn, you grow, right? But that happened then, and then I forget what the name of their group was, but there was like a trumpet player that I know named Zach. Y'all might know.
Yeah, I know Zach. I did some stuff with him.
He
Zachary
did my
Durham.
first event. He
Oh,
did my
nice.
very first event. Him and
Shout out
Joey.
to Zachary Durham.
Yes. Him and Joey B. Rains.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sus Life boys.
Sus Life. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's the name of their collective? Yes. Sus Life.
Yeah. Sus Life was
So-
at Poets Haven too. And that's my thing.
So those were the first performers that I had, and then it was another poet, Jay Baltimore, And my first vendor, Jessica White, J White, yeah, she was my first vendor. And Wonder Lee, she had like the cardboard bow ties. So those were my first performers slash vendors.
I know those.
Yeah. And so that was that on the first event.
How did it feel?
That's how
Did you
came
feel
to be.
accomplished even though 8 people came, or were you just like, I was expecting?
I felt low-key defeated. I did, because I was like not comfortable at Baruch like that, but I was still like going out of my comfort zone by like handing out flyers and stuff. And I guess because people didn't know me, people didn't really receive it. So it was just like literally my 8 friends who came. A few of my other friends couldn't make it. So I did feel a little defeated because I had high hopes.
Right.
But then I did learn a lot from it. So in the moment and at the time, I was like, dang, I spent a lot of money on this, a lot of money on that, had to pay the venue, didn't really make back anything to like cover the cost of anything. So I did feel a little bit like, damn, I'm in college, I'm working in retail. Maybe put this on
retail life.
Yes, girl. American
I've never worked in
Eagle.
food services. I know that you have.
Yeah, no.
I've done both. I've done both. Well, restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a lot. And just within that, I would say not struggle, because we always call it the struggle, but within that process that you went through as a young artist and blossoming and doing those things that helps you feel complete and bringing together a community. Now, when you look back at that, because now you've done, so many more events, and then you connect with so many more people, and you have other things that you can, tie your name to. That if you want to do something else, it's going to trump whatever you did first. So
you came a long way. 2013.
Yeah.
So people can't do shit in 6 years.
Because I don't remember when you started. I didn't know you when you started. But like, I don't remember that year. But I met you in 2015.
I was about to say, I feel like you met me around the time I revamped him, which was 2015. Yeah,
Right.
I feel like I met you around that time. That was the year I was very active on the scene as far as like going to different, and it's funny, you see how as I'm mentioning people, you know them because we were like in that community, and it's like I was going to different people's events. I was just seeing what else was out there, reaching out to artists I didn't know, cultivating friendships and relationships with people, and just really like learning and doing the research, and also learning the business side. So in 2015, I literally left AMP alone for 2 years because I felt like this wasn't really what I had hoped. But then I brought it back in 2015 and was like, nah, I don't give up on this, So since then, it's been active pretty consistently. I try to do an event every month. Sometimes we take hiatuses during the winter, things like that, just to like plan and recalibrate and stuff like that. That's pretty much what's going on now. Did y'all ask me another question, or?
I think, did you? You're talking
I was
about.
gonna say, because sometimes I get lost in my ramblings that I'm like.
You were saying that from then till now,
Oh,
she's come
yeah.
so far. She wanted to now kind of like.
Right.
Right
So
now.
what? So with the differences of if you were to make an event now, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do differently? And also, as an artist yourself, what would you would you perform? Would you give different people platforms based off of what you've seen and what you've done and what they've done? Just talk on that.
Right, because you're a different person than you were in 2013.
For sure. I think that I do way more research into like who these artists are. Even like as I was telling y'all when I was coming in, one of the newest things I'm doing is these potlucks where I'm inviting friends, fellow artists, and then artists that might be a part of my next event or have been a part of my past events, so that I can get to know them on a more personal level. But even if they can't attend the potlucks that I'm doing way more research into like seeing, okay, is what they represent as an artist and as a person in alignment with what AMP represents, you know what I mean? Because you could be a dope artist, but if I feel like the type of crowd that I've garnered in a sense, or like acquired over the years, doesn't really, just seeing what works for like my demographic, even though I don't like using that word, but just seeing what works for my audience.
You have a mission and you have an audience who supports that mission, and the artists need to also support that mission.
Right. So just trying to make sure that the artists that I reach out to now are in alignment with that. Also, like what I do differently now is, aside from the research, organizationally, I have a team. I didn't have a team till like last year.
You was just
so
doing
it's a really so it's a really small team of us, but have a team. I plan on expanding the team. And just continuing to learn and grow. How I reach out to people is also very different. Sometimes I like to be business casual in a sense, because I don't want it to be super like, you must do this, or you know what I mean? But I also want people to respect that it is a business and to be, punctual, to hold themselves accountable when something goes wrong, and to have things done on time so that the events can run more smoothly.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like artists would legit show up mad late. I would be like, oh, come to sound check at 7, and they would be like the day of, oh, I have work at 9. So now in my emails, I don't get off till 9, stuff like that.
I definitely know that.
Now in my emails, I'm very, I lay everything out in detail from the beginning, and I give them space to articulate and communicate if there's a problem with the timing, with work, with everything, because I know life is happening outside of just you being an artist.
Right.
So there's still a level of compassion there, but there's more of a business mind now. And that is how I reach out and communicate to artists. It's reflected in that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And for those out there, because when we met, I was so inspired because you had already had a business. You had a LLC, right? No.
Sole proprietorship. Yeah.
Which is still a business. How did you do it? What was your step-by-step? This is what's missing from a lot of conversations about entrepreneurship, especially amongst people of color. It might be on Instagram, it might be in some listicle somewhere. But like the step-by-step process for a person now, your age, younger, how did you do the sole proprietorship?
Okay, so I learned about what a sole proprietorship was through New York City has like this business center thingy that they do. Like free classes. Our taxes pay for it, so it will be free for anybody to go.
A lot of free stuff.
It's a lot of free. I think it's like NYC Business Insider or something like that. But basically, I was taking classes, just free classes on, literally it would say how to start a business, or legal business models to choose from, or whatever. So I took the first intro class, which was intro to like business models, and they were talking about LLCs, sole proprietorship, corporations, and I forget the other business model, but those were the four or five that they were talking about. And sole proprietorship was, it just seemed like the easiest to do. Having an LLC is a bit more work, and I wanted to just make sure I had AMP on paper, you know what I mean? So I was like, let me just do the sole proprietorship, and then later on down the line, but make it into an LLC. So it's not an LLC yet, but just so that the business is protected and nobody can like copyright, or you know what I mean? Like nobody can, there can't be any infringement on my brand because I own it. So I literally just went to a class, got the information, went to what is it, the county clerk. They give you a paper, you get it notarized, and then you bring it back to them and you pay a fee, and that's it. It's mad easy. It was like $130.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I know you told me this before. Hit me again.
LLC is like $1,500, which
Yes.
is why I was like, I'm a win that. But yeah, the sole proprietorship, I think I did that about 2 years ago. That's like, yeah, it was like $130, and when I did it, I was like, that's it. You know, I feel like there's a bit of a stigma when it comes to like starting a business, especially for Black people. I think it's intimidating, or it can feel intimidating because it's like, where do you start? But you start with just the knowledge and you know, taking the classes and being open to even asking questions when you get to the class too. You know?
Who else? Like, was it all types of people in the class? Was it a big class?
Right. Because this is in-person
like
classes.
It was like a small after work somewhere near like the South Street Seaport area, like one of those business buildings. And literally you just sign up online. Damn, I wish I had like the link and stuff.
Oh,
but,
all that's gonna be
Okay.
there for people to see and
we get all that
click on.
information.
Yeah.
Word. Yeah, but it was just like, it literally lays out all the classes on the website that it offers. And it'll have specific, like really intro to business models, intro to marketing your business, like things like that you can, it's almost like a college course, but it's literally just a day, maybe a 3-hour course. And they give you like a big ass, like not a big ass, but like a little pamphlet or like not a pamphlet.
Workbook?
Not a work. It's like
Brochure.
no.
That's tiny.
What is it? It's just like an info book, I guess booklet.
Yeah.
I guess.
Booklet.
Yeah, like I would say of like 10 pages where it's like breaking down everything that they're talking about, and you can just write notes and get maybe specific questions you have answered. Like there's literally like the city is like giving you the information, you know.
You do that for finances too.
Yeah, because there was a financial work literacy. Yeah,
I went to a finance place. They had all my information. I presented all my credit report, everything, and they were like, gave me a full picture and like these are your priorities. Not even like I knew, you know, as a person paying student loans and wanting to start a business, stuff like that. I knew it wasn't, you know, no one. I already knew I need to make more money, but they were able to tell me for free, this is your first priority. Yeah. And this is a way that you can meet those other goals without, you know, messing up your living situation or you know, having food. So that is one thing I love about New York. That there are a lot.
I need to myself a financial literacy class. Shoot.
I think everyone needs
I saw one recently. They had one at Columbia. And it's also offered by the city. It's free. I think it's in October is the next one. So yeah, no, there's a lot of like resources out there. You just have to look for them, and then also like not be afraid to ask the questions even if something seems confusing, because starting a sole proprietorship was mad easy, and I'm not that smart.
Stop it. Stop.
I'm smart.
Stop it.
But I'm not like.
You don't think it's serious to make it happen.
What is that?
You know, yeah, it's not rocket science.
You're not
I was never a 90
Neil
student.
deGrasse
I was
Tyson.
like an 80, 75, 80 student. You know, I'm so yeah.
Everybody got to get their stuff in, no matter what. Shoot. No matter what your grade point average was.
You can do it. So
I'm smart.
You're smart.
I'm smart,
Thank
but
you.
I'm not. It doesn't take a genius, like you said.
To
doesn't
go in
take.
and do it.
Yes.
So you went from that, and from what I know, you started doing events. We collaborated on a Valentine's Day event.
Yes.
That was really fun.
That was dope.
Weirdly, it's the first and last time I took Lyft because that was a very uncomfortable
In
drive.
New York.
That's mad random.
We talked about
Why
Cali.
that and why that day?
We talked about Cali.
Probably because I was gonna be late, and I was like, "Let me take a Lyft,"
And she didn't
and
like it.
that guy was weird and hitting on me and saying weird things like "let's get married" all the way till I got to the spot.
Okay, so
and I'll never forget that.
you're a secure from what I can sense. You're a secure person.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna sense this. I'm just gonna say this. I don't know what was happening on Valentine's Day, but men was on Taylor that day. Like you didn't realize, but the way, like, okay, so that happened in the lift, and then one of my friends, he he might see this, so I'm not gonna say his name, but he was like, yeah, the girl with the I'm like,
I had your style. You had did my hair.
Yes, we did what, twist or braids? I think it was
Twist.
braids. It was twist?
I think so.
Okay. Senegalese twist. And he was like, yeah, so your friend, I was like, yeah, her boyfriend's right there. So it's not gonna happen. But they were on you. I don't know what was in the air. If you had like, I don't know.
Wearing some extra.
It was like, I
something.
think it was our first Valentine's Day.
Together?
Mhm.
Yeah, so I
Word.
was.
Yeah.
What is this? For our
I was
first
focused on
Valentine's.
nobody else but you. So
I mean,
so you
Does that make
went
sense?
from what?
Does-
Now you have the.
that's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah.
Looking like a Ralph Angel from that new show with Oprah.
Looking like Ralph Angel, that part.
I'm okay with my girlfriend being attracted to Ralph Angel, by the way. I know that happened. Well, is it him or Lance Grocer? Like the guy, the dark skinned dude.
Kofi. Sarah Boy.
We going. Oh,
I don't-
on video.
Let's say,
This is the thing. This is the thing, though. He knows I did not watch TV for a long period of time, so I missed a lot.
But it's a new show. It's a new show. It's
So when people say actors' names, I'm like, Dirt.
Queen Sugar.
Who? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Lies. Oh, okay.
Was he the one that was in that video eating strawberries with the apron on?
No,
What?
but
That was
I
Lance Gross, I
hate
think.
those freaking yo.
Those were from a while ago.
Strawberry. What?
It was someone that looked like that. That was in
You
there.
out there? Don't fucking do that shit. Okay? Good looking dark skinned men. Cut the shit. Stop fucking eating Nutella with strawberries. Alright? And talking about, ooh, sweet, delicious. Shut up. We don't want to see it. It's corny. No woman likes that. And if she's telling you she does, she's lying to you.
She's lying.
She doesn't want to bruise your ego, but I'm here to bruise
I don't
your
even
ego.
like Nutella.
When
What I was saying before we were spilling all this tea, what I was going to ask is that you have and then cosmetology school.
Yes.
How did
that
happen?
By the grace. No.
We are bound